Hello, everyone. I think it's working. Here we are. Hi, everyone. Welcome. My name is Brandon Ivy. This is the second in this crazy new little experiment that we're doing. This is a little happy hour. I'm the Associate Artistic Director at Village Theater, and we decided to stay connected with everyone that we're going to have me once a week chat with some Village Theater artists, and it could be an artist or an administrator or a writer or a designer, who knows? It could be anything and all of those things. We have a little bit of a scene change. I have since relocated to my parents' house for a little while so that I could not be alone in my own. Actually, out in Issaquah, I'm 6 minutes away from the theater right now, which is really wonderful. But the person that's joining me this week is a dear friend of mine. And she was a Seattle star for a long time, and then moved to New York, and then has since also continued to stick around in Seattle a little bit, and coming back once in a while. So here joining me is the wonderfully talented Diana Huey.
Hi!
And
we're doing it.
What was that?
I said we're doing it.
We're doing it. Here we are.
It's like we're hanging out, except it's still sunny there and it's pitch black here.
I know you're in New York, right?
Mm-hmm.
And where's the current apartment that you're in? Are you in Astoria still? Oh wait,
I'm in Astoria. Yeah.
Astoria. Okay, great.
I'm in Astoria.
You've been in this place for like a couple years?
Like a year and a half.
Okay.
2 years this summer. Yeah.
I remember when you moved in. It was a big deal.
Mm-hmm. It was a big deal. It was very exciting. It's also so hard to find apartments in New York. It's so hard to go through and we did this when we were roommates, but there are so many hoops to jump through in New York, and it's hard to get approved. We got denied like 3 apartments that we were looking at before we finally got this one, and this is definitely our favorite one. So it all worked out the way it should have.
All the photos look like A+.
It's amazing. I love this place.
It's 2-bedroom, right?
2 bedrooms. So we have our bedroom, which is where I am now, and it's like a good space. And then the second room is like our music room. For those who don't know, my boyfriend is a musician, and so we have like the office room with all of his saxophones and blowy things and recording equipment and keyboards and like all those things. Yeah, the flute, the
how many does Andrew play?
A lot. He would say not, but he plays like all of the saxophones. He's really good at bass clarinet, flutes and penny whistles, and like any of the like the little things.
I remember
piano and guitar.
I remember I have a company in here in Seattle that I sort of used to do, kind of still do, and we do this concert series called New Voices, and the last one that we did New Year's Eve. 2 New Year's Eves ago, Diana was in it because you were in town, and Andy was here with you, and Andy came.
Mm-hmm.
And after the show, we had like a New Year's party in the Rotunda at Seattle Rep, which is where we did.
It was
so much fun. But one of my favorite memories was Diana's boyfriend Andy, who was just there to watch. At some point during the New Year's festivities, pulled a penny whistle out of his pocket and started playing along with whatever song was playing on the loudspeaker.
True old acquaintance. It was everyone was like, what is this?
So
this is my life. This is my life.
So for those of you that are just joining us, I'm Brandon Ivy from Village Theater, and we're here with Diana Huey, who is a wonderful bi-coastal. I think at this point you're kind of bi-coastal a little bit. You're in Seattle kind of like once a year.
And I was supposed to be there now with you at Village.
Diana was going to play the Drew Barrymore role, Julia Gulia, in The Wedding Singer. Or potentially Julia Gulia.
Potentially.
Spoiler alert, Julia Hart is what her name is.
I mean, the show's not happening right now, so maybe by the time it does, people will forget.
Yeah. But so please, if you have questions for us, you can write them in the comments. You can say hello, you can say anything you'd like. We have a couple already. I mean, they're not questions, but they're just like, Ellen Dessler.
Hi, friend.
Like, yay.
Oh, I can
Good old Annalie Hamilton.
Annalie, she's always the best. Annalie sent me. Wait, just Brandon, you have something fun to talk about, right? You should talk about something really fun.
Oh, totally.
Hang on, like right here.
This is fun. I have no idea what Diana's doing. She's going into her.
So Annalie and I went to high school together, and she sent me these amazing saxophone, like neon colored leggings in the mail the other day. She's had them for like a couple of years that she got at a clothing swap, and she saw them and grabbed them for me because she's the sweetest. And these are so comfortable and soft. And I'm actually really glad that just things kept happening that she wasn't able to send it until now, because now is the time for saxophone leggings when I don't have to wear regular pants. You know, I was like, oh yes, give me some new. I'm running out of sweatpants.
How long has it been since you've worn like real go out of the house pants?
I did wear jeans today to go to the grocery store so that I had pockets that I could not, touch as much. But I mean, I'm not wearing them right now, is what I'll say. I'm wearing some sweats right now on the bottom.
I got dressed up on the top, and on the bottom I definitely had sweatpants.
Absolutely. Yeah, I was like, I'll wear a nice sweater. It's a lie. But thank you, Annie. They're so soft. I wish you could feel them through the screen, but just trust me. And I mean, they've got saxophones all over them. These are the best.
So Diana and I have a very long storied past together. We're starting off with all of these old friends of mine that I can like convince to do this happy hour thing. Diana, do you remember when we met? When we met, not when we knew about each other.
Yes, I met you at the cast party for my college production of The Beggar's Opera. Brandon came to see it because we had a mutual friend in the show. So Brandon saw the show, and I was seriously, you guys, I knew who Brandon was. And I went with my friend Lisa Nathans to a New Voices concert, like New Voices Stone Age, like when it was in the basement and of that, or that weird black box theater at UW. And I watched the show, and I didn't know you or anyone involved. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is so much fun. How do you audition to be in this show? Like, how do you audition for it?
Exactly what you're gonna
say. And Lisa was like, well, you don't really audition for it. You have to, Brandon curates the night, and he picks the songs and the singers and blah, blah, blah. So you have to be friends with Brandon Ivy. And I'm like, how do you get to be friends with Brandon Ivy? Cut to Brandon Ivy coming to my cast party. And I was like, oh my God, it's Brandon Ivy. And we hung out that night. And then I didn't really see you again until I auditioned for Mame at the Fifth when you were a casting.
Oh, yeah, we were doing casting at the Fifth.
You were doing casting and I auditioned as an intern. And I had the worst song choice.
I was like 24 maybe, and Diana was 22. I was a senior in college at Cornish, and she was auditioning to be an intern in Mame, as in like the musical version of Auntie Mame, the Jerry Herman big brassy Broadway score. And Diana comes in, and you're supposed to bring in 2 songs. And what are the 2 songs you brought in, Diana, for the sassy brassy Jerry Herman show?
I sang. I was like, I'm gonna pour my heart out to you and give you some Miss Saigon and sing I'd give my life for you, because that's a great choice for an audition. And then I'm going to give you a very different take and sing Let's Hear It for the Boy from Footloose, which is also very appropriate for Mame. Yeah, I got the job.
Still got the gig. Still got the gig. And sang first soprano.
And sang first soprano. I got to sing the high C, but I had to sing it in the booth off stage because I wasn't actually in the scene.
So we met at this cast party and like very quickly became friends, and then started doing stuff together. And Diana was in lots of shows that we did a number of shows together, like in a big string.
just like back to back to back to back.
Yeah,
Those were the best summers. Those were the best summers.
We had so much fun, like doing like little rinky-dink fringe. Like at that point, there was no one in town really doing like quirky off-Broadway type musicals.
Right.
And so we would do these kind of crazy, like we did one in particular called Xana Don't, that
that's the show that taught me, taught me that I didn't know how to belt correctly. So I had to like train myself because I never studied belting. I always sang more like legit in high school and college. And then Brandon gives me this role in Xana Don't of just this beltress who just is wailing. And I was like, oh, that sounds so fun. And the first summer that we did it, what'd you say? It looked like my head was going to explode or something. Everyone was waiting for my head to just like, like pop off. Singing like all the high notes in that tune. And I was like, oh, I'm not doing this correctly. And so I had to go back and try to figure out how to belt in a healthier way so that I could actually do like the full run of a show. Whoops. Trial and error.
It was.
So thanks,
I remember the first time we sang through one of the songs. You were like mixing it, or you weren't totally belting it, and I was like, hey,
I didn't know how to belt.
Could you? Yeah, and I was like, could you do that again? Except could you belt it? And you were like, what do you mean by that? And I think because it's something like you just like yell it on pitch, and you're like, oh, like this. I was like, yes, like that.
Oh man, Brandon Ivy, he just makes dreams come true.
And the belting never stopped.
And then it never stopped. And now that's all I do.
And that's like your thing. That's like your thing. I want everyone to make sure that they remember back around later in our episode. Oh, look who joined us. Oh.
Hi, Jess. And
so
Dewey.
Hi, friend.
Hi, friend.
Oh. Other people. Dewey Me is here.
Hi, Dewey. Oh, I miss you. Oh man.
So you when did you do your first main stage show at Village? This was
oh my gosh, I'm trying to remember the year.
It was before you moved to New York.
Before moving to New York. It was Take Me America, and I think it was like maybe Dewey knows. Do you remember? It was I think it was like 2010, 2011.
That sounds
something
right.
Like that, I think.
You've only done new musicals on our main stage.
I've only done new musicals.
You did Take America, and then you did It Should Have Been You.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah, and then I've done a lot of like readings.
Yeah. You were the is she the maid of honor or the sister? Maid of honor.
The maid of honor with if we're just dropping all the spoiler alerts, if you don't know It Should Have Been You and you don't like spoiler alerts, just like plug your ears for 10 seconds. But I played the maid of honor who then the big twist was that she's actually the bride's lesbian partner.
Yeah, it's like a marriage of convenience or something.
Is done.
Is the whole point that they were going to get married and then like live separate lives with their partners, or is that what it was? I don't remember all the specifics. I just knew that it was like surprise, everybody's gay.
It was really fun though. And I was maid of honor in Wedding Singer. If I was there now, if we could all be creating things together, I would finally get to make it.
You would have gotten the bride finally.
Would have made it there, but alas, always the bridesmaid, never the bride. Whoa. I don't know how that was.
And then you moved to New York after
all of that. Before what year was Jasper? It was after No.
Oh
I moved
God,
to New
I'm
York
terrible with
after
teachers.
Jasper. I am too. And time has no meaning. And now that this whole thing has happened with the world, time has even more no meaning. I never know what it's just gone. But I moved to New York like 6.5 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
With
Something like
who?
that. With you. Wait, right? Yeah, that's what you're saying. We moved to New York together. It was after a New Voices concert, and we all realized, you, me, and Kevin Hurd all realized that we were wanting to officially move to New York, and that none of us had a place to live. And I was like, Brandon, come here. Kevin and I are going to get a place, and you're going to get it with us. And we did.
Yes, we
And
did.
you still live there when you're in New York, right? You still have you're at the
Until
Edgecombe.
the end of this month.
Oh my God. That's really sad.
Yeah, it's really sad.
It really feels like the end of an era.
Yeah, you. It was quite like we had. It's a 4-bedroom apartment, and the fourth bedroom has been sort of like a rotating cast of characters. You were the first, and then Kirsten Delore Helen moved
Yes.
that apartment for a while, into that room for a while.
Yes.
And now she's back in Seattle.
I miss Kiki. She used to live down the street from me in Astoria.
Oh, I know. But now she's here in Seattle, and she's all ours.
Whatever.
What's the thing you miss most about Seattle?
The people, like these people, the community, the Seattle theater community is just, it's so special, and I miss everyone there so much. I also just love the city itself. Like the vibe is so great. It's so beautiful and chill. But yeah, I miss the people. If I could like move everyone from Seattle to wherever it is that I am, I would be very happy.
Because you were working all over the place.
Yeah, it's like since moving to New York, I feel like I'm never actually here. I'm like, I've been physically in New York maybe half the time that I've lived in New York, because I'm always going to other cities, which is great. And that's one of the reasons I wanted to move, was when you're auditioning in New York, you're knocking on so many doors to so many theaters across the country.
Yeah. I mean, that's the way it goes.
Mostly just Seattle. Yeah. So I was like, I like to travel, and I want to, go experience things. So it's been really fun. I love an out of town contract. My poor boyfriend, but I love going and like exploring a new city and living
like he
a
does
new
not
place.
like he doesn't like an out of town contract. He's out of town too.
I know, he's never here either. So we weren't supposed to see each other until August.
Her boyfriend is we already talked about it, but he's an amazing reed player. But he's also he plays in like jazz bands and cabaret shows and all kinds of stuff. But he's also in a band. I'm obsessed with them. Is it called Brass Against the Machine?
Yeah, Brass Against now. It used to be Brass Against the Machine, but
Probably.
now it's Brass Against, because they're not just doing Brass Against or Rage Against the Machine songs.
Dan, explain what it started as, and now talk about what it's turned into, because it's so funny.
So
I mean, funny, but it's amazing.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. It started as like a protest after. We'll get in a little political, but after Donald Trump was elected, him and the guitar player in the band, the guitar player Brad, reached out and was like, I kind of want to, start revisiting like these old songs from like Rage Against the Machine and Tool, and all these protest songs that were like protesting the government back in the the 90s. So they started doing arrangements, and Andy does all the orchestrations and arrangements for the band, but they have a bunch of horn players and like these 6 singers, and now they have Sophia Urista as like their main singer, who's amazing if you don't know of her. And they do these like protest songs, and it's so much fun because the sound is just insane. I love going to live shows and seeing people that are like, what are these band nerds coming up with a trumpet and a saxophone and like a tuba? Like, they're like, what's going on? And then they start playing this insanely powerful rock, like hard rock music. And everyone's like, it's so fun. Brass Against, check them out. They
It's
just started releasing originals too. They're like writing their own record now, and their stuff is really, really cool.
It's so cool. So now I'm going to do my best to. I don't think I'll embarrass you because you don't embarrass very easily. But one of the things that I wanted to do, because I did give her a warning, so she knows that this is kind of coming a little bit. We're going to do a tour of Diana Huey on YouTube. And we're going to show you some of my favorite Diana Huey belt moments. Because last time when I did this last week with Justin Huertas, I realized that I could like share my screen and you could like see things.
We're gonna do the inner workings of Brandon Ivy's YouTube rabbit hole.
So there's actually like a little story to be told through these videos. It's sort of like the story of Diana Huey a little bit.
Oh, I love that.
I was well known, and Diana being in Seattle, of exploiting Diana's belting skills and just finding the craziest songs to have Diana sing, because she sort of has it's a bit of a party trick in a way. Like she sings really, really high, and it's like really exciting and fun. So we talked about this this concert series I used to do, or I still kind of do it. It's now turned into like every couple years thing, called New Voices. I mean, hopefully, yeah. And this is one of my favorite songs that Diana has ever sung in New Voices. And it sort of has a little bit of it's the beginning of a story, sort of Diana moving to New York and all that. So we're gonna, so you see where this is going. So we're gonna try this. I'm gonna share. Is this what I'm gonna do it? Yes. Okay. Here we are.
Oh.
Yeah. It's not gonna be a lot, but it's just gonna be a little bit of it. Great. I think you can probably see that. Here we go.
At that sweet girl. Oh God.
This is called, and there it is. Just listen to this high belting.
There it is. It's just the thing. I'm not saying.
Just emotions.
I am afraid.
A little Celine.
I'm scared.
Oh, and a sensible like riff down. Emotions, still more emotions. So I love that.
You know, when all else fails, just cry it out, man. Like if your voice, because that's not vocally perfect, but if it's like I cover it with emotional acting. It's like, no, that wasn't a vocal crack. It was an emotional explosion.
Right. An emotional crack is what it really was.
It was an emotional crack, yes.
Played out through the voice.
Yes.
So here's the story about why that song is important in the Diana Huey evolution. So I got some fellowship to go. What did you say?
I said, "Hi, Jason." Julia Gulia. Here's that. I'm. Look at that. We would have gotten married, except not.
Jason was going to play Glenn Gulia in Wedding Singer.
Yes.
So that song is important because I got this fellowship and I was assisting on a production of Hello Dolly in Washington, D.C. at the Ford's Theater. It was a co-production between Ford's Theater and Signature Theater. And the artistic director of Signature, Eric Schaefer, was directing Hello Dolly. And he was getting ready that next season to do Miss Saigon at the Signature. And we were sitting in tech or something one day. And we were just chatting, and he was like, "Yeah, we're gonna have to start looking for our Kim and Miss Saigon. I want somebody that's never done it before. I want to like discover someone." And I was sitting there going like, "I know someone." And he was like, "Tell me about it." was like, well, she's great. Blah, 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 blah. I was like talking about her and saying how great you were and that you've never played the role. And like, obviously you should be playing it someday. And he was like, we got a video of her. And I played him that YouTube from from New Voices. And he was like, okay, can you get her to send me a video? I just want her singing. I'd give my life for you. Can you get her to send me a video of that? And so, because Diana doesn't take things off of YouTube, look what I found.
Oh, no.
A little Diana Huey audition moment here.
Oh, cute.
Are you ready? Are you ready? So blurry. Old phone, so blurry.
My hair was so long.
His little one, thoughts on the sun, bring him to me.
That is so long.
I know. It's like,
You will be.
So there's that.
my hair is like to my rib cage.
And just to like, what happened was this.
Oh my god. Oh no.
You will be who you want to be.
Look at that little nugget.
Oh my god.
As long as you can have your chance, I swear I'll give my life for you.
Oh, I
He's
forget.
so cute. We got bikinis. There's a little bit of everything in this show.
And I think did he call you? Was I there when he?
You were. I didn't know you were on the phone. I am getting out of the shower, so we're just going all in here. But I get a phone call and I'm like in a towel, soaking wet, and I see that it's a DC number calling me or something, and I answer, and I'm like, hello, and he's like, Diana, this is Eric Schaefer from the Signature Theater, and I'm like, oh, hi, you can't see me, okay, hi, like. And I honestly thought that Eric was doing a solid and like letting me down nicely because I was your friend and he asked me to send a video. And I was like, wow. And it was like a week later and I was like, oh, it's not going to happen. No one's going to cast me off of a YouTube video singing one song. Like, it's not going to happen. And he's like, yeah, so I just want to call and tell you that you got the part. And I was like, what? And he's like, yeah, you got the part. You're going to play Kim Miss Saigon. And I was like, oh. And then I hear Brandon in the background. Just like cackling in the background. That. And I was like, it was that. And I was like, oh my gosh. And yeah, and he had me on speakerphone. And I
know it was in the actual theater. We were sitting in Ford's theater.
Oh my gosh.
Oh man. And then
Amazing.
You won a Helen Hayes Award for it. Crazy. I went down to see it and you were like incredible.
Aw, thanks, babe. It's all because of you. Honestly, like it wouldn't have happened if it wasn't for you. And most theaters and directors do not cast a Kim who hasn't done it before, which is why it was really strange and magical for me that Eric Schaefer is just crazy enough that he was like, I want someone that's never done it. And I'll cast it off of a YouTube video with some non-equity girl. Not that there's anything wrong with being non-equity, but I mean, I was green. I didn't know what I was doing. You know, it was just like living in Seattle. You've never met me. You have no reason to cast me. I don't have anything that you would have seen me, you know, and he just did it. So, and it's all because of Brandon Ivy.
Oh, stop. So this next video is truly just because it's so high and it's like no one ever needs to do this, but it's just impressive. Like it's just impressive. And it's actually oh, you know what I'm now realizing? That first song that we played is actually higher than it's supposed to be because Diana was like, can we take it up?
Can we take it up a step? It was low.
Oh my god. So this one,
everyone wants like to have a good song. You know, you get one song in a night of amazing songs and amazing singers, and you're just like, what can I do to make it special? Can we take it up a step?
Higher. So this next song is a punk rock song from a punk rock show about it's complicated, but it's basically about a woman that was a spy during the Revolutionary War. And it's really cool. They don't know who the woman was, so it deals with all these possible women that it could have been. You don't need to know any of that to appreciate what's about to happen. This is just like, it's already supposed to be high and loud and rock and roll, and then Diana like did her Diana thing, and I remember I sent it to Preston, the writer, and he was like, "Yes, whatever that is, keep doing it."
Oh God!
It's like impressive. That's all. Okay, here's this one. So what I love is at first, this is down the octave, so this is like low. And then she's like, let's take it up the octave.
Oh God!
What is wrong with you? You're insane.
Everyone learned the button of the song because I clearly did not know the button. I was like, this is the button, this is the button, this is the button. And I buttoned the song physically like 3 times, maybe 4.
You know,
it's even worse.
You've never done it before. You'll never do it ever again. That's the fun of those crazy concerts. It's like, I don't know.
I don't know. Yeah, but you gave me that song, and then you and RJ were like, do you want to come up with like an option? And I was like, and then didn't RJ, maybe RJ like help figure that out or something. He's like, can you do this? And then, yeah, because RJ is amazing.
RJ Tanciocco is an amazing music director. And this is so like Justin did it for you, and you're now doing it for RJ. RJ is going to be the next guest on our happy hour next week.
It's clearly this is meant to be.
Yes.
I also love do you just pick your Asian friends to interview?
You know, I didn't I mean, maybe I do. I don't know. I mean, you're definitely the most interesting. I have fun talking to all of them. No.
Oh, I was like, please don't say that to Justin and RJ. Diana's way more interesting than you guys, but you know, it's fine. Couldn't have her every week.
So now I love going from that video to this next one because they could probably not be more polar opposites. So your biggest role to date, which is something that like everyone that knows you is just like the happiest that this happened to you and was able to be a part of your life for 2 years. 2 years? 2 years?
A little over a year, I guess. Like a year and
yeah.
well, maybe like a year and a half with like Seattle and I don't know, something.
Well,
a good chunk of time.
Diana played Ariel in The Little Mermaid, that started at the Fifth Avenue and then did a big national tour for a year. And it was so. Oh, here's one of your. Oh, I'm just like now. I'm seeing like.
Hi.
Yay.
She was my 5th grade teacher. That's not Kristen Burt. Did you?
Is this Kate? This is Kate's mom.
Yeah. She was my my 5th grade
mom
teacher.
Listen, I didn't know that you were Diana's teacher.
She was my one of my favorite teachers of all time in 5th grade.
That's hilarious.
She was Ms. Gerhold then. Yeah. We would talk about the X-Files. I shouldn't have been watching the X-Files, but I did, and until it got too scary and I stopped watching it.
And so what was it like being in Little Mermaid? Because that kind of came a little bit out of nowhere for you, I think.
It came super out of nowhere. It was the best time of my life like artistically. I had never gotten to do a role for that long because we did, like a year and 2 months or something like that. But like the, I don't know, we did like 300 shows maybe. And usually I do regional theater where you rehearse for a month and then you have the run of the show for about a month and you do maybe 20 something shows. So suddenly I was doing something 300 times and I was so worried for a while, like, oh, what if I get really sick of this and don't enjoy it anymore? What do I do? I'm going to be doing this for the next year. And I found that it never got boring. And I kept finding new things, making new discoveries. And I feel like the video that you're about to play, I cringe watching it because I just want to preface, we were still in tech when this video was shot. And I was learning how to sing and fly at the same time, which is not super easy because you're, and to go like swimming across, you're sitting in a harness. So I'm like sitting basically in a swing. And so I have to use all of my core strength to push myself forward to make it look like I'm going this way, while trying to sing like all light and pretty. And I was like, I can't breathe. Like it's pushing on everything. And I was like, how do you do this? So it was a really fun thing throughout the next year doing it 300 times that it did get easier. And I found new tricks and I found more depth to the character and different things. And I was like, I feel like I am now only starting to figure out this role. And now it's over, but at like roll 300, I was like, oh, why didn't like all these light bulb moments? I couldn't believe it. So it was really fun.
One of the things that was so exciting about it is that, I mean, you were one of I think you were probably the first woman of color to play Ariel.
I think on that large of US.
In the US, yeah, on that large of a scale, like in the United States, which is so exciting. Right. And also, like you sing differently, honestly, than a lot of people that have played Ariel before. There's definitely like a sweetness to your belt, but it is bigger and fuller and kind of like more.
I mean, I'm more of a belter now because of you, and I was like, yeah. It also just didn't quite feel like my mix isn't as powerful as my belt, and some of these moments in the show, I was like, I know that everyone else princess mixes this, but it just doesn't speak what I'm trying to feel and convey.
There was something so exciting about seeing you put your specific take on it and not just being sort of like the cookie cutter version that's all sort of like floaty, mixy, sweet. Like there was some like, you had some fire to you, which was really awesome.
I didn't want it to be a story about, a girl who's like, oh, and the musical was different than the movie, but I was so worried about going out for a year and telling little kids, like, if the boy is really cute, you can sacrifice yourself and your family, and if he's really cute. And luckily they did deepen her story in the musical that we did, where it's more about self-discovery and her not feeling like she belongs under the sea, and finding her voice, but who she is. And so it did give me some more grit to her and some fire and a little bit more urgency instead of just like, ooh, dingle hoppers and boys. Terrible message.
I'm gonna play a little chunk of like the official B-roll of the show, and then we'll find a little extra fun. Here we go.
She's working.
Snapping your fins, you don't get too far. Legs are required for jumping, dancing, strolling along down the, what's that word again? Street. Up where they walk, up where they run, up where they stay all day in the sun.
I know.
Water and
too sharp.
Wish I could be part of that world.
I love this tail flip here.
What would I give if I could live out of these waters? What would I pay to spend a day or more?
I do miss that show though, but I sound like I'm working real hard, and this because I was like trying to remember the arm choreography and when to flip my tail, and not like just doing donuts in this thing. But
this production. I mean, this is probably the largest production in the U.S. since
the Broadway one.
The Broadway production, and the Broadway production was like super famous for having no flying. Everything was on.
Yeah, they were on wheelies. Those
Heelys.
Roller skate Heelys. Yes, the sneaker shoes with skates. So it was her part of your world was just like skating down right and then going back, and like there was like one cross or something, and I was like, oh, it just wasn't. They didn't have that magic, and they asked Glenn, the director, to figure out why the Broadway one wasn't magical enough and like why it didn't work, and he was like, well, a big part of it is there's no Disney magic, there's no spectacle, there's no them being on skates isn't very interesting. But if you turn the entire proscenium into the ocean, that's interesting. And so that birthed this new production.
So one of my like when I don't know Little Mermaid like at all, at least the Broadway version. Like I know the movie, and the first production that I saw was Diana's. Was this one of the fifth?
Really?
And, yeah. And so I was just sitting there watching the show, and then what happens? Like, she sings part of your world, and it's beautiful and wonderful, and it ends very like softly and purely and like longing for this place she wants to go. And then I don't even remember when it comes in the context of the show, but there's a part of your world reprise that's like a triumphant reprise. And
after she saves the prince.
Oh, she saves the prince. Great. And I had listened to the album.
Oh my gosh, I can't even remember now.
Who knows? I had listened to the album, and the album has this reprise of part of your world that's triumphant. And and it's sung very prettily, and it's like mixed, and it's very like And then when I watch Flip and Diana Huey do it, it just becomes this like soaring stratospheric belt moment that I'm thoroughly obsessed with. So we have some unofficial pirated. Where is this performance?
That was in Kansas City Starlight. When we kicked off the second leg of tour, and they had it was an outdoor theater with like thousands of seats, and because of that, they had jumbotrons. And this was always Andy's favorite part of the show. And so I asked a friend to record this little snippet for him. This is
of course his favorite part of the show, because it's like, okay, here we go. So unofficial.
This doesn't exist, except it's on my Instagram. But.
Yeah, follow Diana at Diana Huey, Instagram. Oh, it's so good. We'll watch it again. Come on.
It was so fun. That was the one thing that I can say. I definitely had. I have a hi Iris. I had a massive book filled of any and.
It's hilarious. I just put his comment. Is that an
yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't know until Andy told me.
Who would normally belt an E flat. You would mix it. That's just what you do.
But she's so happy.
I know, it makes so much sense. Oh my god! I just died. I died when I was in that audience when I saw that. I'm sure that I grabbed whoever I was next to and just was like,
probably Kiki. You guys were my opening night dates.
I saw that with Kiki, of course.
Yeah. I was like, you guys, come be my date. Sa. Oh, I lost. Oh, there you are. I lost.
Okay, good. I think the time has come. We've been talking for 45 minutes.
The time has come. Oh my gosh!
Can you believe that? I mean, does anyone have any questions? If there are there any like?
Oh yeah.
Dire questions that people need to ask before we go? Write them in the comments section. Is it here? Is it there? Is it there? I don't know where the comments are.
I don't know.
Everything is also. I'm raising my right hand. My left hand is, and this is.
Yeah, this is my right hand.
Confusing.
It's very confusing.
I don't think.
I look at you. Like
what's funny is I'm now realizing that I can see everyone that's done like a like or a love or a laugh, and one person has done an angry. Has given like a little angry sign. I have no idea when it showed up, but we angered someone.
Sorry. I tend to do that.
Yeah, you're lots of animosity towards you.
Yep.
Well, this has been a blast. Thank you so much, Diana, for
I love you. Thanks for having me.
Oh my gosh, of course. And I'm so sad you're not able to join us here right now, but I'm sure that you'll be back to Seattle and hopefully back to Village.
I hope so. Yeah. Are there plans ever to recycle the work put into the pre-stuff for pre-production for Wedding Singer?
The world is a crazy place, and who knows? I mean, obviously we have a Wedding Singer, and so like, but we have
it's such
a weird. Wedding Singer is one of my like secret favorite shows. Like I listen to the album in my car all the time.
Of course you did. It's just a bunch of bops. It's so much fun. That's just like
the hell out of right in front of your eyes.
I think we're gonna need a video of that for a future social distancing entertainment video segment from Brandon Ivy.
Oh,
if everyone agrees. Oh, what?
Okay, everyone that's on, tell me the shows that you want to see Diana Huey in at Village Theater. Because we got a suggestion. We already got a suggestion from Stephanie Bain. I'm sold. If I could do hair,
I'm sold.
Those are both on my bucket list.
Stephanie. Yeah. Hey guys, if you can just like really annoy Village Theater and just like say, we really want to see Diana Huey and this, that, or whatever. And it doesn't even have to actually be real. Just like annoy them until they hire me again. That would be great.
That's exactly how it works. If you just annoy people enough, that's totally how it works.
That's how I got through my entire childhood. I just annoyed my sister, annoyed my parents, just annoyed everyone until I got my way.
Oh, here's an interesting one. Sweet Charity.
Ooh, Sweet Charity. I don't know Sweet Charity super well. Ooh, Waitress.
Oh yeah, Andy knows.
He knows my dream show. Please, baby.
I would love to do Waitress.
That would be. I would love to see your production of Waitress.
Oh, I like Waitress. I'm not sure if I should direct Waitress. I feel like that should be directed by a woman.
Oh, that's true.
I mean, I love Waitress. I'll do Waitress. If someone wants to hire me, but if I'm programming it, I would probably have a woman direct Waitress.
Guys, Brandon Ivy for president. Let's just do that. How do we make that happen?
Oh, thank you. Oh yes.
Ooh, wicked.
Yeah. We're ready as soon as the rights are available.
I know that's the thing too with like a lot of the big shows. It would, they're all.
Oh man, for Wicked, I would love to do like when we did Jesus Christ Superstar, we had our Judas and our Jesus switch off roles, every other night, I would love to do, like Iris says Glinda, I'm like, I would love to see you and someone else like flip-flop.
Flip
I mean,
Alphaba and Glinda every night.
could you
Holy Moses, Batman. That would be the hardest challenge. It's so fun. Just like, wah! And then like, wah! Like, oh my God.
Oh, that would be so exciting.
That would be bananas. I would love to play either. I would love to play either role. I'm fine with anything, or even like a Nessa Rose. I'm fine with that too.
We stand a Nessa Rose.
What's that?
We stand a Nessa Rose.
We stand.
Stan? Do you not know what stan means?
No. What am I? Oh no.
Stan is like, I can't believe I am like more up on pop culture. I can't believe it.
Oh, I'm so bad at pop. I'm terrible at pop culture. I don't know anything about it.
Stan is like, we're fans, like we're fangirling, fanboying, like it's that kind of stuff. Like we're really big fans.
Oh, I totally also stand a Nessa Rose.
Iris, it has even more insight.
Iris.
It means psycho.
We need to get Iris like into casting, and so that Iris, I can work.
Where does the T come from? If it's psycho fan, Stan. Oh, it's an Eminem song.
Eminem song.
I didn't know that.
Iris just knows all of these things.
Everything.
She is with it. She is with it. Iris also taught me about dry shampoo back during Take Me America. She gave me a bottle, and it.
I was in America with you.
Yep, she was pregnant with twins, and now she has 2 twins.
Oh wait, is the song called Stan?
Yeah.
That.
Stan. It's Stan.
Oh my God, that makes so much sense.
There it is.
I'm glad everyone is so glad they tuned in for this particular part of this happy hour.
I
just go another 8 minutes and make it a full hour.
I mean, I'm already sitting in my bedroom in sweatpants. So I mean,
everyone's out of ideas for Diana to be in shows, I guess.
Thanks, guys. I just want to work. Iris is totally now a part of this. I'm gonna have to like call Iris later and be like, can we please go through all of my dream roles that I don't even realize I have? Can you just decide these for me? Because I don't know. I really don't know. My dream role is a good role that gives me, work. I'm down for anything. For hire, arms for the poor, arms.
Do you have like a bucket list role? Like, what's the top of your bucket list?
Oh man, see, I for the longest time it was Kim in Saigon back in the day. That was all I really wanted to do. Actually, do you know what I do? I really want to play Diana Goodman in Next to Normal.
You got a ways to go to play that, but soon.
I know, but like, how dare you soon? No,
I mean,
but back when I was a little younger, I remember I really like when Next Normal came out, which Brandon worked on Broadway. Wasn't that your first Broadway show that you worked on?
It was my first.
It was very exciting. I remember going to your house for a Tony's party for the Tonys that year and just watching you. I didn't even like look at the TV. I was just watching you watch it and just like tears in your eyes, and you were just glowing with pride with all of that. And I was just like, wow, Brandon's doing it. Like, look at this person. This is amazing.
I could see you making sandwiches on the floor.
Yo, I do that anyway. Oh, speaking of which, who else has just been like, I've been cooking my way through this quarantine. I'm also doing the, I enjoy wearing sweatpants because it's comfortable, and I like to have like my inside clothes so that I change back into after I go outside or something right now. But also sweatpants are more comfortable because I have been eating a lot. And then I realized I was like, oh, I work out every day, but I don't, once I'm done, then I like sit back down and start cooking again. And I'm just like not actually moving anymore. And I was like, I need to figure something out. If anyone has good suggestions,
Do you want to
I'm
know
like,
what's crazy for me? This is so funny. I can't believe I'm about to share this on the Village Theater Facebook page.
share it.
Anyone that knows me well knows that I love fast food, but I have not had any fast food in like, I mean, at this point it's like almost a month. Because
Are you like feeling blood circulate out of your heart arteries better?
But I've actually lost weight during this quarantine.
I was thinking about that with you. I remember when we lived together, it was so frustrating, you guys, because Brandon would eat like macaroni and cheese, and he would eat a Ben and Jerry's like every night, and like one just like
because I'm a child.
Because he's a child, and you were like, oh yeah, no, I'm actually trying to like carb load and like fat load so that I can bulk up. And I was like, man, I wish that I wanted to bulk up. I wish I wanted to be like, let me just eat this mac and cheese and this pint of ice cream for dinner, because, you know, that's like actually my fitness plan.
That's not exactly how it works, but the general.
That's big. That's all I saw. I was like, I'm going to eat this little piece of lettuce. That mac and cheese looks so good. Man. But yeah, you and your fast food. I don't know how you do it. I haven't had fast food.
I like go to the gym so that I can eat fast food, basically. Like
that's fair. I work out so I can eat. Yeah, I totally work out so I can eat.
Yeah, I like food way too much.
Food is my favorite thing.
I need to start figuring out how to cook better, because I'm definitely cooking, but I'm cooking like pasta and pasta sauce. Like I'm making like eggs in the morning. That's kind of it.
We had our eggplant parmesan tonight for like the 6th time in quarantine, and it's really easy if you like eggplant.
Okay, send me the recipe.
Yeah, I'll send you the recipe. We have like
we'll do another happy hour and we can make.
We can do it together. I'll be like, no, Brandon, thinner slices of your eggplant, and you just stack it. It's like making a lasagna, with vegetables.
With vegetables.
Vegetables and cheese.
I'd have to put some meat on it. I'd need some sausage or something.
We could put some sausage in the sauce that goes into like each layer.
I'm down.
Yeah. Okay, we're doing this.
This is devolved.
This is now it's just like we're roommates again in our living room, just like talking about nothing.
I mean, maybe that's what
we're
people,
like, oh crap.
Maybe that's what people want out of these things. I don't know. Do you just want to
I
like?
don't know.
At this moment in time,
Can I stop like playing with pasta? Iris.
Yeah,
that
pretty
would be a lasagna, Brandon. You can also make a lasagna.
I mean, we literally should just like three-way Iris into this conversation.
Can you do that?
Can I? I actually don't know. I've never done this with more than 2 people.
That would be so exciting.
This should just turn into like me randomly sending links to people and being like, click this link and join. Come
join.
hang out.
And they're like, what's happening?
What's going on?
What's going on? Oh man. Oh, Hades Town. Yes. My boyfriend knows all the shows that I want to do.
Oh, is that an Andy one?
Hey. Yeah. Oh, Eliza from Hamilton.
Ooh, yeah, that's a good one.
That would be really fun. I also would love to do that Anne Peggy track and like get that smoking song in Act 2, and then just bop around in the rafters for the rest of the show.
Mm-hmm. You know that you played that I wish I could have seen you do a Xanadu.
That was really fun. Xanadu was really, really fun.
How's your Australian accent?
It's not that good anymore. Maybe I read the script, but yeah. And then I did that a tour in China with Aussies, and it kind of came back a little, or like I heard it all the time. So that they say bananas. You sound like a car. They thought I sounded like a race car because my voice apparently is just meow. Meow. And I'd be like, yeah. And they're like, you sound like a race car. Yeah.
Oh, man. Well, just in case this cuts us off at an hour, because it very well might. I have no idea how that works. We have 15 seconds left.
I love you. Thank you so much for having me. Thank you everyone for watching. I don't know what you were watching, but
yeah, thanks everybody for watching. Come back next week. We'll have RJ Tansiyoko. And we'll have more crazy quarantine stuff.
Well, cool. Well, we made it.
We went past an hour.
We went past an hour. Good to know. But we should let all these cats and kittens go. Ooh, yeah. Spring Awakening again. That would also be fun. Man. Thanks, right. Rachel.
Bye, friends.
All right. I love you guys. I love you, Brandon. Bye. Love you.